Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at AAA to talk about the Medicare annual enrollment period. My name's Sarah Wallace. I'm there on the left for you. I'm here today with Karen Anderson,
Hello, everybody. How are you?
and we are your Medicare experts here at AAA. That's what we do. We talk about Medicare all day long. Today, we're going to talk about one of our busiest seasons of the year, and that's AEP. So a quick overview of the topics we'll touch on today is what is the annual enrollment period, why it's important, what can change, and how to prepare.
And
One,
Sarah, the other day I was thinking about this particular slide, and particularly why it's important with annual enrollment period for our members to contact either you or me, is that AAA during the annual enrollment period, we really focus on loyalty and options, particularly here in the Medicare team. And it's one of the best reasons to contact us during the annual enrollment period is that here at AAA, we're independent brokers. So we're AAA employees, and we're licensed in the state of New York as Medicare brokers for Medicare insurance, and we have several health insurance companies to choose from. And the thing to remember about the difference between insurance brokers and insurance agents, insurance brokers here at AAA, we represent our members. We're loyal to our members first. And because we have several different companies to choose from when it comes to insurance options, we're not loyal to any one particular company. We're loyal to our members first, and we find a plan that fits them best based on their needs, rather than just one company who you just have the one plan that you can offer, and it can be a great plan. There's nothing wrong with that as an agent, but they can only sell that one plan. So it's great because not only do we offer loyalty and options, but we can save our members time, and we can save them premium dollars too.
great point, Karen. So what is the AEP? As you've heard us say a couple times, it's the annual enrollment period, and this is the one time a year that all Medicare beneficiaries can make changes to their health coverages. You can only make changes between October 15th and December 7th, and these changes won't take effect until January 1st of 2022. So for the majority of Americans, this is really the only time where you get to make that decision. You get to make a change. This is when that mail starts back up, right? You thought that the mail was done when you were done with your 65th birthday, but once a year it's going to start back up between October 15th and December 7th. So why is it important? Well, you get to decide. This is where you take control of your health insurance. Your health insurance is just like your car insurance. You want to compare and make sure you're not overpaying for what's on the market, and you also want to make sure you're covered for your changing health needs. If your health needs are the same year over year, that's great. But as you age, things will happen, and you want to make sure you've got the coverage that you need, as you go along. Another thing that might happen is if some of these plans change year over year, they have the ability to change what they cover. And does that still cover what you need? That's where Karen and I come in. We tell you what changes have been made to the plan, what to expect. If you're good to go, that's great. If not, we can compare it and let you know what your options are. So who should reevaluate their plan really, right? Well, in my opinion, everyone in the Medicare system, right? Anyone who foresees procedures, surgeries, new prescriptions, new physical therapy. If you see your health needs increasing, you want to make sure that those are covered either under your current plan or under a new plan at a better cost. Those of you who haven't checked on your health care for 2 years, this is a good time to evaluate that.
And another point, Sarah, if you don't mind my interjecting here, another thing is there's life changes such as that involve travel, and it could be due to people going into retirement and doing more extensive traveling throughout the United States. But it can be other things too, like you might need to go to another state to care for your elderly parents and spend quite a lot of time in another state. You might have to go and help your children with their children, help your grandparents, your grandchildren out. And in that case, if you're in another state, let us know that, so that we can help you coordinate and make options with the possibility of a plan change that might offer you coverage where you're located when you're helping out your family.
Yeah. Anyone who is in the Medicare system really should reevaluate the plan just to make sure they're covered for the upcoming year. So why would you want to make a change? What are you really looking to evaluate, right? Well, first and foremost, are you in the best plans for your needs? Do you have a health condition that's fully covered? Are you diabetic and using insulin? Are you getting that at the best price? Are all of your prescriptions covered at the best price? Did you know carriers charge different prices for prescriptions? I'll let Karen get into that later, but it's a very important piece of what Karen and I do here. Are you picking your prescriptions up at a preferred pharmacy? Did you know your carrier had a preferred pharmacy? Are your doctors in network? Do you have out of network coverage? You don't always get to choose who's going to provide your health care. And sometimes you really just want to go to the expert, right? That's why you're here at AAA talking about Medicare. You also want to be able to do that with your doctor. So you want to make sure, if possible, that you have some out of network coverage. We'll get into that later as well. What your emergency coverage looks like. If you're going on vacation down to Florida, are you covered in an emergency? If you stub your toe, you break your arm, do you know what's covered under your current plan? And are you overinsured? Are you paying for things that you're not using year over year? All of these are really great questions. There's something Karen and I dig into every day. And this is really what you want to focus on when you're thinking about your 2022 plan. So talking about changes, what options do you have? Well, basically all changes are possible during this time. That's why it's such an important time period. You can literally do anything you find advantageous. If you haven't signed up for Original Medicare in your initial enrollment period, you can do so now. You can change to only have Original Medicare. We don't suggest that. There might be a reason for you. Come talk to us if you do think that's you. We'll talk about why we don't suggest that in just a minute. Signing up for an Advantage plan, changing your Advantage plan, changing to a supplement plan, looking at the different prescription drug plans. You literally have every option on the table for you. That also gets a little daunting, right? When you have too many options, and Karen and I can help focus it in the right place. Are you on the right type of plan? Does your current plan cover you in your 2022 year? Yes or no? Then we go from there. So just to let you know, this really is the time you have every path open to you. I want to quickly just go over Original Medicare. We do have another webinar called Medicare 101. If you want to really dig deep into each part of the Medicare process, the alphabet soup, as I like to call it, who does what, when to sign up for things, that's the Medicare 101 webinar. Right now, we're just going to go over some basics so we're all on the same page. Original Medicare is considered to be Part A, and B as in boy. Part A is your hospital care. I want you to think of it basically as a hotel bill for the hospital. That's what that coverage is. And Part B is your medical care. But right there in red, if you remember nothing else, remember that Original Medicare only covers 80% of your health care costs.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves 20% coinsurance as your responsibility. So a coinsurance is an amount of money that you're responsible to pay. Now, Karen, you think $100, right, for a regular doctor's visit, 20% of that's not bad. 20% of a COVID hospitalization is, 20% of a broken hip with surgery and physical therapy follow-up, right? So really what we want to talk about for the rest of our presentation to mitigate that 20% risk, how to cap it, right? To make sure that if you are having a bad year medically, you know that you have a cap on your costs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. To do that, I'm going to hand it over to Karen to talk about our Advantage and supplement plans.
Okay, real good. Thank you, Sarah. So we already know that Original Medicare handles 80% of your medical expenses. So what Sarah and I are all about here at AAA is we want to be sure that we find you a Medicare plan, so that you are paying as little as possible of the remaining 20% coinsurance or 20% expenses on your medical bills. So you have Original Medicare Parts A and B. And when it comes time to select a plan, you only have two choices. So Sarah and I believe us. We know that it can be daunting and confusing, but you only have two choices as far as types of plans. You have Medicare Advantage plans and Medicare Supplement plans, or they're also known as Medigap plans. So let's take a look at the Medicare Advantage plans first, and I'll give you an idea of what a typical medical advantage plan is all about. The first thing you can count on with a Medicare Advantage plan is just remember that's the advantage to an Advantage plan is that it bundles all of your health care needs together in one plan. And by that I mean your Part A, your Part B, and your Part D, and D is for prescription medication coverage. That is all bundled into one plan, and that is known as a Medicare Advantage Plan Part C. So those are all the parts, A, B, C, and D. So with a Medicare Advantage plan, coverage is acceptable in regional networks. You can have what's known as an HMO plan, where you're specifically getting your health care in one region, the region where you reside. But there are also PPO plans available so that you will have coverage when you're out of your service area as well. Again, the nice thing is prescription drug coverage, that's included in the plan. And then there are all the other little bells and whistles we like to refer to, which is vision, dental, hearing. There are also gym memberships, transportation benefits, meal benefits. And another thing that's become really popular the past year or so is over-the-counter allowances. So things that you normally would have purchased at a store, you can purchase through your plan's catalogs, and that's a really nice benefit that our members have liked. One thing to remember about a Medicare Advantage plan is those plans can change from year to year. Sometimes those changes aren't very large at all. A couple of little tweaks and changes every year that we can make you aware of. But sometimes there might be things you really need to be made aware of, and Sarah and I will do that for you. So let's go over to the Medicare Supplement side. With a Medicare Supplement plan, it's also known as a Medigap plan. And the reason it's known as a Medigap plan is because it fills that 20% coinsurance that you're liable to pay for your medical expenses. So what it does is it just plugs that 20% hole for you. The thing to remember about a Medicare Supplement plan that's really important is it only covers Parts A, hospitalization, and Part B, medical expenses. It does not include a prescription drug plan. So Sarah and I will write a separate standalone prescription drug plan for you, and that's typical in the industry. It also focuses on strictly your medical service, and hospitalization. It doesn't have any of all the extra stuff like vision and hearing, dental, and particularly for some people who aren't interested in those things, then a Medicare Supplement could be a really good plan for you. The nice thing with the Medicare Supplement plans are that they're really flexible in that they will travel with you wherever you go throughout the United States. You don't have to be concerned about, am I in network or out of network? The only thing to be sure of is that the doctor you're seeing or the facility you're going to accepts Medicare. And that's really the only thing that you need to be aware of. And what's nice too about the Medicare Supplement plans, these plans never change. So once you enroll in a plan, If you are happy with that plan and you have no changes throughout your life, you can stay with this plan throughout. So there are some ideas of the two options that you have. There aren't any others, so just those two, Medicare Supplement or a Medicare Advantage plan. And then Sarah and I can help you decide which of the health insurers are the best fit your needs. So let's talk about in the state of New York, there are what's called guaranteed issued rights. And what is great about this in the state of New York is we do not have to worry or be concerned about any pre-existing conditions. Sarah and I don't have to wonder whether you smoke or not because it makes no difference to your premium. So you cannot be denied and you cannot be charged more in premium due to any pre-existing condition that you may have. So that's off the table. It doesn't matter whether you're a smoker or a non-smoker. The premium is the premium, and you don't need to let us know that. So with a guaranteed issued rights, you can move between Medicare Advantage plans and Medicare Supplement plans as your health needs change. So don't be concerned about pre-existing conditions, okay? All right. So as far as the main factors in choosing a health plan is concerned, the one thing Sarah and I start off with first that's so important, and it's important for you to give us the most accurate information as possible. We start with prescription drug costs because this is what's going to make or break choices as far as healthcare plans are concerned. All of our companies charge differently for the same type of prescription medication. That was news to me until I got started in this business years ago, and that's really important for everyone to know. You might be talking with friends or family members, and they're talking about this wonderful plan they have, and you just have to have that too. But that may not be the best plan for you depending on the prescription medication that you are on in particular, because that same company may charge a lot more than another. So be aware of that and tell your friends and family about that too. Help get the correct information out there. So again, each carrier has what is called a formulary, and we go through their formularies. And where your prescriptions fall on the formulary identifies what you pay for each prescription. And each carrier, or each insurance company, we refer to them as carriers, they also have preferred pharmacies. So one group of pharmacies preferred for one company may not necessarily be preferred for another company. And we make you aware of that up front so you know what the next steps are for you.
Karen, if I may, they may be a
Yes,
preferred pharmacy and they still might charge you less at a different pharmacy. Just
right,
because they're preferred doesn't mean it's the best price for you. And
right.
that's, this is really where Karen and I spend a majority of our time. And formularies also change year over year. So if you're on prescription drugs, it's definitely beneficial to check out the prices year over year to see if other carriers might be offering them at a lower price, or if your carrier is even offering your own prescription at a lower price.
Great. Okay, thanks, Sarah. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. And doctor networks also. I think that's probably the favorite part of my going through the plans is pulling up all the providers and being sure that the primary care physicians or any of the specialists who you've been going to, we want to be sure that you don't have to change your primary care physician or seeing specialists in midstream just because you go on a Medicare plan. So what we do is we make sure that the plan that we're looking for or kind of focusing on for you also is accepted by all of the doctors that you go to. I know that I would be heartily upset if I were to lose my primary care physician. I really like her. I've been going to her for years. And the idea that I would have to change now just because of an insurance plan, I would not be happy about that at all. So I wouldn't expect members that I'm working with to be happy about that either. So we make sure, number one, prescriptions, and then number two, we make sure that you're able to keep the doctors.
I just
Okay.
want to point out that example real quick where there is
Mhm.
both in and out of network coverage in that
Right,
example.
Yeah.
That's an example of a PPO. That's another thing Karen and I will look into for you. In an HMO, you usually have to, well, you have coverage in network and no coverage out of network. You usually have to go to your primary care as kind of like a gatekeeper to go to specialists, whereas a PPO will have, a better price for in-network providers, but they do have some sort of out-of-network costs. So if your prescriptions allow it and we have the option between an HMO and a PPO, that gives you an idea why we tend to lean towards the PPO.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's all of these little details that we bring together to you in a nice comprehensive meeting.
That's right, Sarah. So as far as the next step is concerned, make an appointment with us, won't you? Give us a call, either me or Sarah, and we'll start taking appointments for the annual enrollment period on October 1st. And we'll have the changes available from the insurance companies we represent. So we'll get an idea of where you are currently and an idea of where you think things will be coming up in the following year. And then we'll take a look at the plan you're currently in, and we'll give you an idea of where you would look best for the following year.
So we have both in-person and phone appointments available. When you make an appointment, just a little information about what to bring. You're going to want to bring your original Medicare card with your Part A and B number. You're going to want to either bring a list of your prescriptions, or I promise you, people have brought me bags of prescriptions. We do not judge. It's really what's important is that we get the right prescription information.
Right,
If it's an extended release, what's the
right.
milligrams on it? So we need the dosage. We also need the form. A tablet and a capsule, those are two different things. The quantity and timing of your prescription fill. And the reason it's so important that we're this granular on prescriptions is this is where the money is, guys. We want to make sure we are estimating your drug costs to the best of our ability, and we can only do that if we know what you're actually on.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that is important is a list of your current doctors and specialists. As long as you have a name and their specialty, we can find them with Google. That one you don't have to be quite as granular. So as long as you know who you go to, we can check them out. And then your current health plan information, because how can we compare it if we don't have it? We want, the best option for you. And if your best option is to stay on your current health plan, we'll let you know. If the better option is to go to something else on the market, we're going to give you those options. So reach out, guys. I'm Sarah Wallace again, there on the left for you.
And I'm Karen Anderson over here in Buffalo. It's a beautiful day out there, and thanks so much for joining us, and have a great day.
Yes, thanks for spending time with us, guys. We hope to hear from you. Thanks for choosing AAA and have a good day.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.